what you've done for me. Thank you, Lord, for what you're doing now.
Hey everyone, Matt here with the fish tank, and today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about apple snail eggs and how I basically hatch them out. So I set up a little hatchery for them, obviously, and then I basically put them into grow out tanks that I'm probably going to be setting up in my aquaponics system. If you guys have been watching my videos on here or on Home Farm Ideas, you've seen in previous videos I have a huge aquaponics setup, and I can basically grow out the snails and stuff like that, fish, shrimp, aquatic plants, and that's what I plan on doing basically, to grow out a lot of those things. But today I'm just going to talk about Snail Mega's eggs. And some of you guys have seen Snail Mega and one of the previous videos that I did. It's just basically a huge, massive mystery snail, which is a common name for them in fish stores, but there's also another name for them, and that is apple snail. So basically these are eggs from that apple snail and another one that I have in there. I actually have 4 in there, and 2 happen to be huge and they're females. And the other 2, the smaller ones, seem to be males. So let's talk about how to set up a hatchery for apple snail eggs. I don't want these in my aquaponics system, so I have to pull them out of my aquaponics system. But if I do set up a hatchery or a grow out tank, I'm gonna need to basically make sure that the snails cannot get out of that tank. So let's build the hatchery. Let's go over some of the tools you're going to need for this job. One of the things is you're going to need a file, believe it or not. That's going to come in handy, and I'll show you why in a minute. You're going to need a hot glue gun with an extra hot glue gun stick, a soldering iron, 2 Ziploc containers just like this one. Here's a better look at it. For the first one, you're going to need to cut around the edge of this lid, all the way around. You can use the soldering iron for this. Takes a little while. Make sure you're doing it in a well-ventilated area too. And then when you're done, if you have little bumps and stuff like that on the edge, then you can use the soldering iron to smooth them out. And let's see what it looks like. Done. There we are. Poetry. So basically, I cut it and I use the soldering iron to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And you can also use the file. Does not need to be perfect, just needs to be functional. So that's done. Next lid, take the soldering iron and punch it through just to make a bunch of little holes, okay, all over this lid. Okay, and then this one's important to have a breathing hole, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And if you can, try and heat it up on your stove, or whatever you can do to slowly heat this end up, and try to give it a little tiny indentation. It doesn't need to be crazy, just a little one. Because when you're putting the eggs on there, you want all the liquid to go to one spot, and when these eggs hatch out, they produce lots of liquid. Okay? So that's done. All right, let's go ahead and give this a shot. So now that we got everything filed, we need to put a pretty heavy bead. I just need to beat it up really good. And how you beat up yours is totally up to you. You can use nunchucks and spares and all kinds of stuff. Keep in mind, I am a professional. Sorry, I had to get a little spot. All right, so we're gonna do a pretty heavy bead on it. Then you take your 2 halves and you join them, and then you give it a just press them really hard together. Okay, and this is just to make sure that your snails can't escape, and you want it to have a good seal so that you can open it from either side, and I'll show you what's coming next. One thing I did forget to mention is this little hole. So on this top half, there's going to be my apple snail eggs, and there needs to be oxygen in there. So that is one spot you can let in air. That's really all that's needed. You can do a couple, like on this side, maybe one on this side and on this side, but you want to try to do it around the middle because the heat is going to rise in here and all the moisture should be up here, and we're going to have the eggs set right in there. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the water that I got from my aquaponic system just now. And as you can see at the bottom there, I actually scraped some algae off the sides of my aquaponic IBC totes. These snails do need a food when they come into the world. So, with that said, you need to make sure that you're giving them some green water. So, what you could do is you could actually put out some kind of container, put a couple grass clippings in it or a couple green leaves, and just let it grow algae really good for about 2 to 3 weeks or longer, however long you want really. And once that algae starts growing, you have a food source for your apple snail babies. So now what we want to do is we want to remove the bottom, okay, because that's the water reservoir. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill that up. This is our green water from my aquaponic system. It is almost pure RO water too, and it has algae in it, as you can see. Now, what you would do is you would take the top lid like that, take that, you can put this back on there. You know, that's going to let any moisture through these holes, right? And it's going to allow it to condensate on the top of this lid. So now we need to put some eggs in here. I don't really like how these eggs look here, but I may just put them in there anyways. But as I try to start putting these in, if these don't hold up, which I don't think they're going to, I might end up just doing these two. So let's go ahead and put them in there. Okay, here we go. Be very gentle with these eggs. They break easily. See how I just dropped it on there like that? Don't do that. Yeah, these other ones are in better shape and they're fragile. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, this one's not gonna. Well, no, I'm not gonna put it in there. Looks like they're falling apart too easy. The eggs should still be firm. They shouldn't be falling apart like that. Okay? So when they start falling apart like that, there's an issue. So let's go ahead and let's add our top to our hatchery. And bam. Now, within a few minutes, I'm hoping we should start seeing some condensation. And that, my friends, is how you build a apple snail hatchery. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a lot of other updates. And check out Snail Mega's last video right here, or right in here. And just to be introduced to Snail Mega, he's huge, I'm telling you. Or she, actually, she's huge. So, and I can't wait to bring a lot of little nano tanks and stuff that I'm going to be setting up with shrimp and heavily planted with wood and driftwood and all kinds of different stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. One of the videos I might be doing is an ammo box turned into a nano tank. So I'm going to be building the whole thing from scratch, and I'm going to be lining it with glass, so don't tell me, oh, the metal, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to have metal in it. I'm going to cut out a hole, and I'm going to build a tank that fits inside of it. So, anyway, stay tuned for that, you guys. God bless you, and like always, peace.